that when the speaker will address, they can address by their name. It's just a humble request to everybody. I hope I'm loud and clear to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Oh, thank you so much. I see there is somebody by the name of Real Me RLX3999. Sir, if you could just rename it to the actual name. And we are going to start this session shortly because people are joining in. So just bear with us for a couple of more minutes. Thank you so much. Yes, Ajit sir, Ajit ji, we are going to start in just 1 or 2 minutes.
Recording in progress.
Sir, shall we start?
I think we should start.
Thank you, sir.
Pradeep, there is too much of noise.
1 second, sir. and ultra HNIs with strategy, structure, and a long term legacy planning. Today's session is special because we have with us a leader who has shaped the very way wealth management education is delivering in India. He is none other than Mr. Romit Bharat, Executive Director, AFM India. Romit sir is truly an industry trailblazer with more than 25 years of leadership excellence across mutual funds, PMS, AIFs, and capital market. He has trained over 15,000 professionals, continued to certification architecture at NISM, and played a pivot role in building AFM India as a global force in financial education. His deep expertise in global regulatory frameworks, CRA, PMS, and AF domain, and his visionary thinking makes him one of the most respected voice in this BFSI ecosystem. Sir, it is an honor to have you with us today. Thank you for taking time to guide our participants for consistently driving excellence in financial education. To all our attendees, thank you for investing your time today. Over the next 1 hour, we are promise you insight that you will not just enhance your professional skills, but will help you to reimagine your role as a trusted advisor and a family office specialist for all HNIs and ultra HNI clients. So let's get ready to turn complexity into clarity and explore how a course can open the doors, three powerful certification, and take next level career in wealth and estate management. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you, Romit sir, for leading today's sessions. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep, and very good afternoon to all of you. In fact, when it comes to this kind of marketing sessions, it gives me a lot of excitement because these are the programs where we takes you through that what are the different types of excitement which is happening in this industry currently. And as a financial distributors, it is not only important to focus on your existing businesses, but also start preparing what is going to happen in the next decade. Because all this while, if you're a mutual fund distributor, if you're a wealth manager, then you have spent a lot of times in building up your businesses, which is around mutual funds and other conventional, investment solutions. But how you are going to plan and what is emerging for the industry in the next decade is something that will set whether you continue to remain successful and continue to grow your business over the next 10 years. Now, there was a very interesting book which says that what got you here won't get you there, which means that the strategies, the different purposes, or the different initiatives that you had taken all this while to build your distribution business, are these the same strategy that will take you to build your distribution business for the next decade? So one of such curriculum that we at AFM India runs is a very, very innovative, very, very futuristic, and it is a very, very exhaustive programs that will not only create an opportunity for you to build up your family office or a distribution business, but it will also help you to go deeper into this particular new emerging field. So, how is the industry? What is our programs? Why as a distributor you need to focus on this particular initiative? Is that what we are going to talk about today? Lot of you who are into this business for a long time, you would be very, very, you would be very, very concerned that do you really believe that आपको सिर्फ म्यूचुअल फंड बेचने से आगे सोचना होगा कि नहीं? Do you really need to think beyond the mutual funds? Because if you're not selling other products or if you're not upgrading and updating yourself, then would you be able to sustain that? And that's what basically is the requirement. Do you really need to go beyond mutual funds? Now, there are some few data points which I will basically put forward, which lays the foundation that how and why this kind of programs, which is family offices, are becoming more and more relevant to all of you. The data tells you that 90% of people who creates wealth during their lifetime, the wealth, 90% of the wealth get lost over the next three generations. Which means that today, if I am creating wealth for me and my family, this wealth will not sustain over the next three generations. Now that's a big problem, and that's everybody faces. The second point that you need to remember, that today when the client reach a certain level of wealth creation, they are looking beyond conventional investment solutions, and that's why you see a lot of growth around AIFs, PMSs, and other unconventional or probably alternate products. So these are the two very interesting trend that we see around, and that makes us very important. That how can we get into this space? How do we get into this particular place? Uh, Umesh bhai, we will discuss everything. For that, I need just 15 minutes of your time. So, do you have those skill set? Now, at AFM India, we do a lot of training programs. We do a lot of knowledge bites for distributors community, where we take you through some of the complex structures, complex topics that would otherwise not available with you. Because as a distributor, one of the biggest problem that we have today, as the industry is growing and maturing, do you have this required skill set? Are there any institutions or body that gives all these training programs at a very affordable price? So at AFM India, we have built a lot of contents and programs that are relevant on from a perspective of next decade. And not only that, we not only teach, but we also bring a lot of professionals from these industries who runs this kind of product from their businesses. So not only that you learn the academic side of it, but you also learn the business and the practical side of it. Now let me give you some perspective that how an investor's life cycles, what is the life cycles of an investor. Now whenever you onboard any investors, he's like a newborn baby. कोई भी आप investor, maybe he's a very old investor, he's a very veteran investor, he has lot of investment in the market, but when you are onboarding him, to you he is like a small baby. And since any small baby would need constant attention of their parents, you also give constant attention to your client. You try to meet all his requests. You try to provide services in all possible ways. But as the client keeps growing, the requirement, the purpose, and the entire association also changes. And this continues until the time he becomes a full-fledged investor with you, where he has built some 10-15 crores of net worth. He is like a college student or a professional who does not only depend upon his parents, but he also seeks validation from his friends and his associates, from his from other sources. How many times have you observed that if you have got a children in your home who are between 16 to 21 years of age, आप देखना किसी time पे when you talk to your children and you introduce certain topic to him, he goes to the internet and try to validate that whether you are talking right or you are just not giving the right data. So same thing happens with your client, because by this time now, when your client has grown to a matured investor with you, he is now exposed to a lot of ideas. He meet lots of people, and there are other distributors also who are influencing him. And by the time he becomes a really net worth individual, he is not only listening to you, but he is also exploring various investment options and opportunities beyond what you are providing to him. Because as clients keep creating wealth, his priority changes from being just a wealth management to also ensure that the wealth that he creates does not have enough risk in it. And once he becomes wealthy, his priority also changes. Somebody who has created 15 to 20 crores of financial assets, he wants to explore business opportunities. He wants to become an entrepreneur. Now, as a financial distributor, do you have skill set, or do you have knowledge, or do you have network where you can provide the investors in providing him capital for his businesses? I know, I have a friend who works with a bank but he has created 20 crores of net worth. And today he wants to leave his job and he wants to set up a business because now he thinks that he is financially free. He does not have to be dependent on the job. If he continues to manage 20 crores of his net worth, which is his investment, he can make money by only managing that 20 crores. Now, so he is entering into an entrepreneurial phase. जहाँ पे he thinks that out of 20 crores, if he takes out 5 crores and invest into a business where he thinks he can create more value, he is ready to explore that. And that happens typically with everybody. So, for a distributor like all of us, it is important for us to understand that how the investor's mindset is changing as he is creating continuous wealth. Now, let us understand what happens with a client. Why does he do this? Now, imagine, and this is a very scientific data. This data tells you that when your income is 100 rupees, you spend 90 rupees on a non-discretionary spends, which means that out of 100 rupees, 90 rupees goes to meeting up your non-discretionary spends and expenses. Now, what remains 10% is your discretionary spends. This is where you buy Rolex watches. This is where you buy fancy cars. You take your family to an international vacations. You move to a larger apartments, so on and so forth. These are discretionary spends. Now, when your income increases by 30% to 130, your discretionary, non-discretionary spends does not increase much because if you are having four chapatis in the night in your dinner, just because your income has grown to 130, it means that you will have six chapatis and your non-discretionary spends will increase. You might move into a better lifestyle, but that does not mean that your non-discretionary spends will increase multifold. What happens is your 90 can at the max becomes 100. So out of 130, 100 goes to your non-discretionary spends and 30 now becomes your discretionary spends. So while your income grows by 30%, your discretionary spends grows by three times. Now, here, that is where the changes happens in the client's mindset because at some point of time he will stop buying Rolex watches, he will stop buying fancy cars because he has them many. He will typically go for a more exotic location, international vacation twice a year, but there is a huge opportunity that he is now starting to explore on investing beyond what he has been investing because now initially he had 10 rupees, now he had 30 rupees, 15 rupees, that what he has spent in the discretionary spends, remaining 15 rupees now starts getting into investments, on investments like alternate investment funds, on invest in foreign assets, on investing in much more complicated products because now he this discretionary spends can give them that freedom and flexibility to do that. And as a distributor, you should be absolutely you should be absolutely critical of this particular factor. So this is something which is happening in India. You will see that as the investment culture is getting deeper into the society, more and more investors who are seeing increment in their income, their incremental contribution to discretionary spends is increasing manyfold. And that is why a lot of this money is moving into capital market assets. The question is, are you providing him enough services to meet his growing demand in this capital market assets? And that is what exactly this kind of programs will help you to do that. Now, when I say that as your income grows, your discretionary spends grows. How is that reflected? Now, I will show you some data points. The giants in Gujarat bought 186 luxury cars, saving 21 crores in one of its kind deals. Now, this might be a very simple headline, but this reflects what we just realized because as you have more and more money which is in your discretion to spend, you start buying this kind of luxury cars. Not only that, apartment prices of rupees 1 crore and above account for 62% of January to September sales, which means that people who were living in a 35 to 40 lakhs apartment, now they have more discretionary money with them. So they want to move in a better lifestyle. And that's where the opportunity is increasing. Not only that, every Indians bought a Mercedes Benz car worth 1 crore every 6 minutes this Navratri. This also confirms that as your client keeps creating wealth, and some part of time he is exhausted with his discretionary spends, he starts splurging money, and that's other data which do that. So somewhere your clients is becoming rich, he is looking for business opportunity, investment opportunities beyond conventional assets, and when you are not providing him the right solution, he is ending up buying exotic apartments, he is buying Mercedes Benz. But how long? How long will he buy Mercedes Benz? How long he is going to buy 1 crore of apartment? So the next 1 crore that he is going to invest or spend, he is looking for investment ideas. And if you want to read about these articles, you can always scan this and you can read them. Now that brings us to us as a distributor. Now, how do I service this growing demand of the HNIs and the ultra HNIs in India? Now, for a distributor or financial advisor or a wealth manager, lot of times you are exposed to lot of training programs. इतने सारे training programs होते हैं that sometimes I get confused. And this is not my statement. This is a statement of a very large distributor to me. कि रोमित भाई इतने सारे training programs हैं, समझ में नहीं आता है कि कौन सा करूं और किसको. Every training program looks so interesting and insightful. My only point to all of you is that please try to understand the entire training program that exists in India or any part of the world. There are two kind of training programs. One is upskilling and one is certification. The difference between these two programs are in an upskilling programs, you gain knowledge and upgrade, whereas in case of a certification programs, you become regulated and certified entity. And there are very few which provides both certification and upskilling, which means that while you continue to upgrade and update your knowledge, at the same time you are also getting certified so that tomorrow you are not at the trap of unregulated advice or unregulated service provider. And as a financial advisor, somewhere you will have to be very careful. Lot of times I have seen that people spend a lot of money on upskilling without having focus on the certification. So at AFM India, we had tried to close this gap between upskilling and certification, because at some point of time your upskilling needs to also provide you certification so that once you complete your programs you are not only upskilled but you are also certified. And this is why you need to be careful about why you need to be upskilling and certification. Now, this is another interesting data which tells you that over the last few years, the growth, the percentage growth in the larger investment has grown more than your conventional investment. While mutual fund continues to be the best, simple, and the most beautiful product for investments, but the growth of percentage growth of mutual fund is only around 21%, whereas the growth of investment commitment in AIF on a percentage term is growing at almost 31.2%, which means that as people are making money, as they are getting more investable income beyond their already discretion spends, somewhere they are looking for exotic commitments in products like AIF and others. Not only that, the numbers of people who are becoming wealthy around you are also increasing. Now, this data tells you that the total amount of people filing income tax returns of more than 1 crore has grown by 500% over the last 6 years, which means that as people continues to become wealthy, the number is also increasing. What used to be 1.09 lakh people filing income tax returns of 1 crore, that number is going to touch around 6.75 lakhs to almost 8 lakhs people, and it is growing at numbers. Which means that if something is growing at 500% for 6 years, and over the last few years, the number of ITR filing is growing at 40%, the simple rule of compounding says that something which is growing at 40% over the next 10 years will grow to 30 times over the next 10 years, which means that agar today if I'm at around 4.68 to 6.75 lakhs people filing income tax of more than 1 crore, we will have almost 3 crores of people filing ITR of more than 1 crore over the next 10 to 15 years. And that's a huge, huge opportunity for all of us. So the the numbers looks extremely exciting. Currently, there are more than 8.5 lakhs people who is expected to file income tax returns of more than 1 crore. This people, this segment of filing income tax returns of 1 crore is growing at 43%. The proportions of investment by the HNIs in alternate assets is growing at 35%. And this continues, then we will have more than 3 crores of investors filing 1 crore income tax by 2035 to 2040. Now, as a distributor, you have now two picture. On one side, you have a growing segment, which is super HNI and HNIs, and that is growing at an abnormal speed. And on the other side, you have to be skilled, and at the same time, you have to be certified so that you get the opportunity and you can take that opportunity on your side. Now, assuming that why this kind of family office programs is a future programs. Now, if any of your investors are between 7 to 10 crores of their net worth in financial assets, and if we understand the power of compounding, then if the asset grows by 26%, which means that if their investment grows by 26%, then over the period of next 10 years, then 7 to 10 crores will eventually become 70 to 100 crores. And if this investment grows at a 16%, which is an historical number for the last 30 years in Nifty, in the broader markets, then this number will go to almost 50 to 75 crores in the next 10 years. Matlab, even if you don't do anything for your investors, and if you have investors between 7 to 10 crores, then that number will go to 50 to 75 crores in the next 10 years, which means that most of your client will enter into a state of their wealth where they would have between 50 to 75 crores in your account. And not only that, even if it is growth, as even you invest all their monies into a safe asset of 12%, then these 10 crores will go to almost 40 crores over the next 10 years, and 40 crores by any standard is not a small amount. And we see that moment your client goes into that league of 25 crores, 30 crores, how does his preference changing? Either he's buying Mercedes-Benz cars, he's buying a 1.5 to 2 crores of property, and he is investing into various kind of alternate assets. So as your clients keeps on creating wealth, and as his profile keeps on changing, his requirement keeps on changing, you will also have to be updating and upgrading to meet. And that's where, as the client moves across this pyramid, he is now looking for a comprehensive solutions from you. And that is where these kind of family office solutions, you will have to become from a mutual fund distributor to a more of a family office consultant in India. And that number is growing. So this program is not only making you prepare the growing trend, but it is also going to make you reasonable uh, and relevant to the future that is emerging in front of you. So typically, if you see any large investors, let's say, for example, if you've got an investor who is slightly wealthy or who has 10, 15, 16 crores of net worth, and if he comes from a business background or if he is a large investor, he would have lot of services which he is looking for. Typically a family office solutions is looking for those kind of service providing. So these are like legacy continuation, succession planning, domestic investment, offshore investments, business continuity, business expansion, day to day operations. When your client becomes a 100 crore client, you are not only providing him an investment solution, you're also providing him day-to-day operation services to him. I will take you an example. I was recently visiting one of the largest distributor in some part of the country, and he was talking over a phone with a service provider who has got nothing to do with finance. He is talking to a service provider who provides residentship certificates and and travel services. Now, when I spoke to that distributor, he said that my client, who is around 75 crores of net worth, he is sending his daughter to Netherlands, and for that I need to ensure that the moment his daughter is landing in Netherlands, his home is booked, There is a driver to pick him up from the Netherlands airport. He should have the food ready in his home by the time he reaches. He should have the social security number. He should have the bank account में sufficient पैसा, and everything needs to be done then and there. तो मैं बोला, are you providing it? He said yes. मैं बोला कैसे? बोला, I know a service provider who have this kind of services, and he is doing it on my behalf. So हमारे बीच में, दोनों के बीच में, there is an agreement that all my clients who has this kind of requirement, I give that particular services to him and he does it. So मैं बोला फिर क्यों? बोला सब कुछ हो गया रोहित भाई, everything is done. Unka flat is also ready, the 2 bedroom apartment. Not only that, they have identified an Indian cook in Netherlands who is going to who is going to cook Indian food for his daughter. Now, a 75 crore guy definitely can think of giving these services to his daughter. He has all rights and he has got all reason to ensure that when his daughter is going to land in Netherlands, he is going to not feel that he's out of his country or home. He is going to have the same feeling, and that's what exactly this particular distributor is providing. So this is one of the most emerging fields. So day-to-day operation, business expansion, taxation, it's a very, very important concept now that you will have to update and upgrade as a distributor. So if you see the holistic offer, if you see the holistic offer of the entire family office solution, you will realize that all these encompasses that what is known as a family office solution. And the JP Morgan family office says that these are all the services that is typically required for somebody who is worth 60, 75 crores, or even in Indian perspective, somebody is worth around 30, 35 crores. Because the moment you reach and hit that level of 30, 35 crores, and which is happening very fast in India, the requirement of the client looks beyond only providing wealth management and investor services. And that is where he's looking at you. So if you see what is most important, what is most often outsourced, which is the light green in color, then you will see that technology platform, tax planning, wealth transfer, investment, cloud computing, these are the services which is now outsourced by these large and rich individuals. And that is where you have a very, very high role to play. So, friends, typically a family office solutions has got two types of solutions. One is outsourced solutions and one is not outsourced solutions. So, typically legal, physical security, data management, cash management, these typically the businesses or the individuals do not outsource. But what they definitely want to outsource is wealth management, risk management, capital management, succession planning, their advices on cross-border investment. And that is what exactly at FM India, we have created a content around all these topics. So we teach you a complete alternative investments. And as I said, not only that you will be upskilled, but you will also be certified. So when you take this curriculum, not only that you will learn, understand and learn AIF in details, but you will also be able to appear for NISM 19A and B exam, which is the AIF exams for distributors. We also teach you about risk management. We also ensure that you have got enough network and connections around the capital management space. We give you an exposure to a lot of investment ideas that typically excites this kind of HNI investments. Just say we give you exposure to a lot of these angel investing, so that tomorrow when your clients has an inclination towards investing into startups and other kind of businesses which are not yet listed and matured, you provide them kind of a solution which is not available to the industry. We have a complete exhaustive curriculum on succession and inheritance planning. My colleague and partner, Dr. Deepak Jain, is considered to be one of the legend in the successions and inheritance planning in India. He not only have trained thousands of distributors, but he works closely with more than 1,000 business families across the country in designing, drafting, and building their succession document. Also, we also do lot of seminars, contents around cross-border taxations. Today, you have Gift City. Lot of your clients wants to invest. I receive at least 3 calls a day from our distributors where they say that I have a client who wants to invest outside and I have an investor who stays outside wants to invest inside. So all these needs knowledge, and this requires you to learn them in details. Without learning them, you will not look expert, and that is where your client will start exploring outside. So we have built a on family offices, mostly for distributors who want to spend time and learning the future in in investments. And our curriculum will cover of AIF, it will cover PMSs, it will cover succession planning, it will cover cross-border investment, and other international financial center. They will talk about NRI taxations and planning, because today a lot of your large clients, as they move beyond 15 crores to 20 crores of net worth, they are moving in places like Dubai, Singapore, and other places where they are going to live for the next part of the life. And not only that, for that you need inheritance, succession planning, you need the taxation structure, you need to learn lot of complicated concepts around that. Look, I will give you a small example. Yesterday only, one of my very close friend based out of Thane, he called me and said that कि रोमित सर, हमारे एक client है जो अभी दुबई से operate करना चाहता है, because he want to shift to Dubai. He has some around 20 crores, so he wants to move his entire structure to Dubai. From there he wants to operate. तो मैं क्या करूं? तो मैं बोला कि आप मेरा फैमिली ऑफिस प्रोग्राम में भर्ती हो जाओ. And he started smiling. And he said, yes, why do you think a guy who has 20 crores, आप उनका advice इतना सस्ते में मिलेगा? Because the moment you will get a free advice from me, you will give that free advice to your client, and the client who has made 20 crores and he's trying to create a life decisions of moving out from Mumbai to Dubai, he would go going with a free advice. Don't ever try to give free advice to somebody who has made money the hard way. So the point is, these all require lot of knowledge, lot of practices, and lot of your time. And that's where my CFM family office curriculum is designed. Unfortunately, in India, family office is not taught officially in India. But if you go to Western countries, typically in US, Harvard Business School has a family office management curriculum where they charge 1.75 lakhs rupees every day, and it is a 7 to 8 days program for an Indians. If you want to go and attend this program, it will charge you almost 10 to 15 lakhs rupees to understand that how does the global family offices they operate and they do that. So this programs is basically taken by me and my colleague Deepak, Dr. Deepak Jain. Not only that, along with us, there are also outside expert who is going to come and talk about how do you establish a residency certificate or a residency consultant program, so that tomorrow if I want to go and take a citizenship in Netherlands, do you have the solution? Do you provide a solution to your clients that if their son is going to go to Australia tomorrow, do you have any solution to provide him accommodations, to provide him all necessary services? The moment you are not doing this, you are actually inviting your competition to give that services. And today, every financial expert who have this kind of services also distributes mutual fund. So this programs has been designed in such a way that it covers the entire purpose and services around AIF, around family offices, not only from a perspective of upskilling, but it also give you an exposure on theoretical and practical purposes. So typically these programs is done on 2 days in a week, which is Saturdays and Sundays, and it is more than 6 months programs. Typically it is a 6 months program, but a lot of time it goes beyond 6 months, because this is a very very personally curated program. It is not like a typical fill it shut it forget it kind of a program. This requires a continuous evolution as a family office manager, where we do a lot of training programs on cross border investment. For our existing family office batches, we are going to do a programs on citizenship and residential programs in European countries, where a leading company and expert will come and talk to you. They will tell you that how you can be associated with them to provide their services to your HNI clients, because today a lot of HNI clients are moving outside India. So this particular programs cost, Pradeep will be able to share the cost structures with you. But trust me, when it comes to learning, money should not be the criteria. So we have also, structured payment plans that you can talk to Pradeep. He will be able to take you through that entire curriculum, that how much it costs. Can you break those if 50,000 rupees, or 60,000 rupees looks slightly heavy? Can you break them into one or two or three or four installments? Everything is possible if you have a keenness to learn. So that is what exactly we tell you. Trust me, larger and larger family offices are also taking this training, because today I am giving a training to a family offices which has got 600 crores of investment, and they've got around 17 प्रोफेशनल्स वर्किंग विद देम, बिकॉज उनका कहना है कि रोमित भाई हमारे पास सब लोग आ जाते हैं, बोलते हैं कि मैं ये करता हूँ मैं करता हूँ. सो एज एन इन्वेस्टर ऑल्सो आई नीड टू नो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ अ फैमिली ऑफिस, बिकॉज फॉर मी 600 crores is big, because on a 600 crores even if you want 50 basis point as a returns on, because अगर आप 6% भी रिटर्न जनरेट करते हो on a 600 crore, which is which is almost 36 crores, and every month you are basically creating a 3 crores worth of income from that 600 crores. So it's not a small amount. When you have 600 crores of net investment surplus, you are creating a revenue or income of 3 crores risk free return over the next, infinitely. So there are a lot of family offices who are doing this program. There are a lot of banks and wealth counters we are doing this. I don't want to reveal them. The largest wealth management company in India, they are doing these programs with us. A lot of large wealth management boutiques, they are doing it with us, and there are a lot of progressive and forward-thinking financial distributors who are looking beyond the current situation. They are also spending this money to do this curriculum. Remember, the structure, the culture, the process, the news and noise around family office is increasing. And more you spend time, the more and more you will realize that if you are not talking about investment solutions beyond your mutual fund, please remember somebody else is talking, and you cannot let your baby who has grown out of you to be managed and handled by somebody else who is your competition. So before you start preparing for the opportunity that you've already created for your clients before it is predated by the competition. So this is a profile between me and my colleague Deepak. We have been into this industry. We are associated with lot of large family offices and wealth management companies based out of India. We are also providing investments, education services, and knowledge services to a lot of large boutique wealth management companies who are very large when it comes to upgrading and upscaling their services. So thank you very much. Where now we are open to discussions. I said I will not take more than 15-20 minutes. Now, if you've got any questions, I'll be very. First of all, I will answer two questions which is there already. So Umesh bhai, uh, as a MF distributor, you need to also up, just say as a MF distributor you can also become a PMS distributor. As a PMS distributor you can also become an AIF distributor. There is no regulations around succession planning. There is no regulations around cross border investment. So these are services which does not comes under. And when you are talking to your investor about investments, about the same way by which you advises him, although you are not an advisor, around mutual funds, the same way you will advises him around alternative investment, about PMSs, about NRI, citizenship and migrations, about cross-border investments, about succession planning. So nobody stops you. And if you see the regulations, because I follow regulations very closely, if you see regulations, somewhere the regulators are also experiencing that the distributors also play a lot of incidental advice practices. That's why if you see the requirement for investment advisor, research analyst is dhire dhire getting narrower, and it is made simple. So somewhere do not think that advisory is a absolutely a different, because in the course of your interactions or engagement with your client, don't you advise the investors on mutual fund? Don't you tell him what are the good, bad and ugly portfolios? Don't you tell him that which is the right mutual fund to take? Don't you give presentations on analytics, on graphs, on which are the product which is given? That's what exactly your clients need. Only thing that you need is to broaden your offer. Till now, you're giving only mutual fund services. What I'm telling you is to give PMS, AIF, citizenship, migration, cross-border, succession planning, all these. So you are actually doing what you are, but you are doing it with more service. So that answers your questions. If you have any other questions, you can write it, or you can you can unmute here. The second question is Amit Jerry. Amit bhai, CWM is a part of the family office curriculum. In CWM, we do not teach you on. So obviously, CWM is a very advanced programs when it comes to wealth management. So CWM is also a programs where you have cross border investment, where you have also gift city and AIF also it is building up. But try to understand family office. So CWM will never teach you on what is, because CWM there is a separate program for CTP. So CWM CTP are very focused program. Both of these programs along with CWM are all going to be anyway compulsion for you. So if you ask me that is CWM is better, it cannot be compared. CWM is proper wealth management where family office is more of a service, which also have wealth management as one of the core service. CWM will never teaches you that what are the services that is required to help your client on giving him services. Does it? So that is what family office tells you. So family office tells you a complete AIF in details, because tomorrow when a 1 crore investment is being taken by your client, he's going to sit with you and understand AIF. So in CF family office, we talk about full AIF, whereas in CWM we have AIF, but it's more on wealth management. So CWM is obviously the first step that you should take, but ultimately what you need to focus on the larger services that will definitely come to you in the days to come. So I don't see any confusions there. So my suggestions would be, if you are interested in doing any of these programs, you should schedule a call with Pradeep. He's a brilliant academic counselor and he knows the in and out of these things. But my only request to you would be that both of these programs are good, and if you apply to both of these programs, we again have a very customized payment solutions so that you do not pay double for CWM and CFM, because there would be somewhere you will need to understand the cost. Vishal Bhai says, if somebody is not a distributor, an investor plus trader himself with a small portfolio but aspires to have his own family office one day, will this program make sense for him? Obviously, Vishal Bhai, it's your money at the end of the day. How can you afford to take a decisions which can have any output? So when you are investing an investment decision as an investor, sitting with an advisor or a distributor, you should know the product. That is why a lot of distributors tells the client, invest only into those products which you understand. And that's why you as an investor, that's why I said a very large proportion of my family office programs come from the family office itself. Because moment you attend these programs, you now knows what are the services, what are the right ways to analyze an AI, what are the steps in succession planning, what are the steps in a cross-border investment. If you want to set up a trust in Mauritius, do you have that knowledge? The answer is no. So in this curriculum, we not only teach you the gift city and other cross-border investment, but we also ensures that tomorrow, if you want to have a services on providing trust at Mauritius, you can do that. So obviously, as a family office, once you become a family office by yourself, large investors, you will have a farther better understanding of the investments, probable outcomes, and the consequences around it. What more can we do with the certification? See, so if you are an investor, you can become a far better investor, and if you are a distributor, you also become a far more better distributor. So the better thing that can happen is that you become better investor or a better distributor. Which certification will help this man and which he should not do, like you are speaking of? I did not understand this question. So which certifications? Can you unmute and you can always say what you wanted to mean? Obviously, Vinay Vedan bhai, the first thing that you need to do is, if you are talking about a family office, trust me, when you go, so what do you mean by that? I want to have a family office consultant. You are meeting, you are aspiring to talk to a guy who is worth 50, 10, 15, 20 crores. Now, tell me one reason that why would a 25 crores investor will give you a time if you say that I'm a mutual fund distributor. If you can answer this question, that why he does it with you, but why he is not going to do it other people. then you do not need to do that. So for you want to go beyond that, if you want to give a wide range of services, and that is why you need to do this kind of interview. So if you are doing CWM level 1, my only request to you would be that speak to Pradeep. He will tell you that why you should register for these programs and keep it registered for themselves. Because tomorrow, when this program's price increases, you don't have to pay the incremental prices. You need to. It is like buying a call option. I don't know how many of you understand derivatives. When you buy a call option, you are basically protecting future rise in the price of the assets. So when you are doing a family office program, even if you don't want to do today, but if you are going to use it later, you can pay the money and register it tomorrow. अगर एक साल के बाद भी अगर ये if you want to do this and the price is 1 lakh, then you do not need to pay 1 lakh rupees because you have already bought a call option for this curriculum at 50 rupees today. So that's exactly what so you're hedging from the future rise in. Sir, how do you see RIA practice in coming time when compared with the distribution? Your view, sir, how this certification? Dinesh bhai, first of all, congratulations. You are doing one of the finest programs in this country, which is CTEP. If you ask me what is the next growth opportunity for financial distributor, the next opportunity for financial distributor is to go beyond financial investments. Every time when you go to a client, you cannot go with an hope and expectation that वो आज मेरे को 10 lakh का check लिखेगा मेरे को. Lot of times your business will depends upon what is the value that you are creating to him. Lot of these clients today, he knows you are a mutual fund distributors, but you are coming to him from other things. So first of all, Jinesh bhai, CTP is a great program. The second level of which I think which you should consider is, as I said, the gap between distributions and advisory is dhire contracting, because somewhere the regulator realized that a major part of distribution involves incidental advisory. So that is why if you see the regulatory requirement from RIA has reduced over the period. So I think going forward, RIA in a country like India will have big opportunities, because as your client makes more money, he becomes wealthy, he becomes informative, he
Precisely, sir.
knows. So that is where he want to go beyond only treating you as a mutual fund distributor to an advice. He will call you to ask advice, and
Exactly, right.
you cannot add any value to being only a mutual fund distributor. So I think the growth of investment advisory is unlimited in India. As people makes more money, they will need more advice, and to give advice, you have to be a advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, one question. This is Shivan Homik, sir.
Hi, please.
Sir, this program was about three certification in a single go, in a single. This is a family business. Sir, how do you make it that there will be three certifications in a single go?
Shivan, first of all, it's not a very easy program. So do not come with the thing that it automatically हो जाएगा. So why do we think three certificate? The first is an AIF. In the entire family offices, we are covering the entire covering of AIF program. Alternate investment के अंदर there are two certification, 19A and 19B.
Okay.
Now the third certification is the PMS. We are also covering PMSs. So if you have done PMSs, then it is all right. What you come here to upgrade. If you have not done PMSs, तो इसमें आपका PMS का भी 21A regulation certifications भी आ रहा है. Correct? The fourth is there would be a family office certification also, because once you complete the entire program, there will be an internal, so being AFM being a global body, so this CAFOM is also a certification like that. So you get AIF 1, 19A, you get 19B, you get 21A, and you get it, because other programs have their own certification. Let's say Gift City, once you complete the family offices curriculum under Gift City, will also give you a certificates around Gift City, certificate of participations and training programs from AFM India. So tomorrow, when you're sitting in front of a client and he wants to invest, or you are talking to an NRI client who is going to invest in India, so you can tell him that I am a certified, or I am a I have received this training program from AFM India, and I have
Okay, sir.
been able to do that. So that's how the inter certification. So please keep at least 7 to 8 months, and this is going to be a very big program. Lot of universities, lot of wealth management outfit. Not only that,
Okay, sir.
Shiben, today when you go to a client, and if you say that I'm only a mutual fund distributor, are you creating a differentiation? And do you think that
No, sir.
client
No,
is
sir.
not expect to mutual fund only? Or
No,
don't
no.
you think, today, everybody who has a good amount of, who has got a good amount of investment, everybody who has the tools, and the way the mutual fund has become a domestic product, it has become such a domestic product. Today, it's very difficult to create an impression to our clients on the incremental benefit of considering you as a mutual fund distributor. Somebody who need to think beyond a mutual fund distributor. That's where I think
Surely,
this
sir.
program.
Surely, sir. Sir, one question. Apart from the thing that they want to be for the taxation for the gift city part, sir, can you elucidate on the taxation on the gift city part, because there are so many things that get into it, because when you capital gains tax is is being percolated in a different way, as where, for example, for a resident individual who want to invest in offshore stocks or any offshore ETFs, they have different implications. Can you elucidate on that?
So that's why if you have seen this particular slide here, I have given you a complete clarity that while we will cover the entire concept of gift city from operation, from administration to setting up office in gift city and everything. So we also have an additional programs on cross border transactions event. जैसे होता है ना, आप जब बीएससी, आप जब आप जब कोई एमबीए करते हो, एमबीए
Mhm.
में आपका एक स्पेशलाइजेशन होता है, आप आइदर एमबीए फिनांस और मार्केटिंग और एचआर, एंड देयर आर सो मेनी. तो इसमें भी ना, देयर आर सर्टेन करिकुलम that will, if you want to go farther into it, let's say for
Mhm.
example the problem that you are talking, so these are abhi cross border taxation ke upar we have one of the best guys in the industry. His name is Rinkesh Shah. Now Rinkesh bhai handles more than 10,000 families who are NRI families, and he has got offices in 7 countries. तो आपको
Yeah,
वो
efficiency
सारे,
between the two countries, efficiency of taxation between the two
that's what I'm
countries.
saying, Shiben. So
Okay.
the efficiency between the two countries depends on something called DTA,
Mhm.
which is double
Double taxation
taxation.
agreement.
So now you know DTA, and there is another called GAR. Do you know what's the GAR? That
No,
general
no, sir.
anti-avoidance rule. Now, general
Mhm.
anti-avoidance rules is there are a lot of people who misuses DTA to save taxes, because DTA gives you tax benefit, right? So there are a
Mhm.
lot of
Okay,
wrong
sir.
people with a wrong intention who uses DTA to evade taxes. तो उसके लिए GAR है.
Yes, circumventances. Mhm.
So the point is, this industry is very large, big. Where would you go to learn all this thing? तो हमने सब कुछ इसमें cover किया. Just because you understand the taxations in more details between the two countries, C1 and C2, that is where probably you need to pay additional. You want to do a sub, you want to do an extra cover of that. For that you
Exactly.
need, there is a curriculum of 10,000 rupees. आप करो, उसके बाद आप उसको practice में डाल दो.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any questions that you want to understand, or we need to, where we need to discuss anything that comes in your mind, you know, see, the idea is behind these programs is very clear. The world is changing. The number of HNIs are increasing. As HNIs or investors makes money, his requirement changes. He does not want to deal only with a mutual fund distributor. He wants to look beyond other services, because the moment I make money, I will want a lot of services. So what are the typical services that they look for where you can provide services is what we covered here. And that is exactly what you need. While you keep updating and upgrading, do not forget to do the certification also. Because tomorrow, if you have to give, if you have to sell an AIF, or if you have to, if your client is investing into AIF, and if you do not make money out of that because you are not certified, then probably you are losing out. So while we continue to give knowledge, the certification program is also being looked upon, and that's what exactly this kind of program that is. What kind of certification is it once we complete this, and how other people will acknowledge that? So So Amit, we are a global certification agencies. So uh, so like lot of our programs, which is CWM and CTP, these are global certification program. And moment you say and understand what is AFM India, so the moment every people who are wealthy, somewhere they have knowledge and they respect knowledge, and they will understand that what is this knowledge that you comes in. So trust me, very few people who are extremely wealthy, they are not knowledgeable. When I say knowledgeable, it has got nothing to do with literacy and illiterate. I'm talking about knowledge, and knowledge is best way to attract the guys, because the moment you create wealth, people want to be associated with knowledgeable people. They want to be associated with people who was multi-service provider, and that is why this certification program, because you have a AIF certification we will cover where you will go to do that. And obviously, AFM India is a global certifications body. We have our own certification standards. So we ensure that the certificate that you go is understood and appreciated and acknowledged by the right set of people. What do you think about the scalability of this? I think Shubham, you tell me now what is an opportunity. Aapko kitne, where do you stay? If you are in any cities, when you are standing on the, when you are standing or you are waiting at the, on the, on the traffic, you see around, see, Mercedes Benz, Land Rover, BMW. I stay in Bombay, I stay in Goregaon. When we stand at the traffic light, every car that I see is, Bombay has got one of the largest concentration of foreign cars. You go and you see the kind of BMWs, Audi, Land Rover, Jaguars, the kind of thing. So I think people are becoming rich, and thanks to capital market, India is like a growing adult. Adult may, when you're a growing adult, there is a lot of chaos. You have friends, you've got girlfriends, you go out night parties, you drink, you smoke, you study, you work. There's so much of things happening, and that makes you, then once you get into the family stage, you get married, you have a child, then, you start avoiding your friends because you've got more time to be given to your children, when the children grows up. So that's how the entire cycle. So same thing with the country. That's how you create wealth. So I think India is becoming a very wealthy nation because ultimately it is a land of opportunity. And I think just see around, Subham. I'll tell you, see around. Don't you will see the understand of this particular services. I also am a visiting faculty at one of the prestigious college in Bombay called Narsimonji, and I was giving. If you happens to come to my LinkedIn, you will see. I mean, last week I was giving sessions on career. There were around 155 students who were attending it because I'm part of the Narsimunji, Narsimunji institution. When I asked somebody that how many of you want to study abroad, 60% of them raised hands. And when I asked them, do you know what is the cost of studying abroad? And I gave them a figure less than 5 crores, 5 lakhs, between 5 to 10 lakhs, more than 10 lakhs. And how many of you know this? Everybody knows that studying abroad in a year would cost them an additional 10 lakhs rupees to their parents. So, do you provide services? So, if you have got a client whose child is studying in NM and he is planning or she is planning to study in Europe, do you have the right set of services? Do you? So family office is not only about giving him investment advice. Family office is also giving him advice about his daughter studying abroad, and that is where also we'll bring in association. So I'm talking to a career counseling, institutes who would give you an advice of choosing the right college. So sitting in your city, you can get your children registered, admission in those colleges, and giving services. You can also, so for that guy, you are the point of contact. You can give him a services to get his son or daughter registered and studying in a college, and you can also give him services to ensure that when your son and daughter lands in Netherlands or lands in London, he has got a car to pick up, he has got a house to go, his electricity bill has been paid, he has got an Indian food cooked, his social security number, his credit card, debit cards, his bank account has all been opened, and he does not feel any difference between his parental home, and the place where he's getting. And that's, I think that's the next thing which is coming into India. One of my clients is asking, do I need to pay US taxes on my existence? I will not give you an advice, Ravi. Advice is an equity and money. So this is something which need expertise. So I don't give advice free. So please, sorry, please pardon my ignorance. I don't give advice in all these things because these are extremely, knowledgeable advice. So, and I'm only paid by my knowledge. I don't earn other ways. My only money that I earn is to distribute. So this is I cannot give you. You have to understand there is a commercial benefit out of it, and anything which is free does not have a value to me because free is a present value and future value FB is equals to PV into 1 plus R to the power T. So if present value is zero, the future value is also zero because anything which you multiply is zero. So I don't believe in buying anything for free today because it does not have any future value. So I think that's all I can add. We had a long discussions, and thank you very much. If you've got any questions, ask me, and we will now be soon over with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the information. So I would say thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. A big heartfelt thanks to Romit sir for a truly power-packed, insightful session and the clarity that the real-world example and the depth of knowledge you shared with us inspires many investors to
I think Pradeep just went off the air. Pradeep, you are in a mute mode. I think your voice was not being understood in the group.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Okay. So, a big heartfelt thanks to Romit sir for this truly power-packed, insightful session. And thanks to all our attendees who attended this session and stayed till the end. And now here is something special and exclusive for
Pradeep,
all
before you do
the.
it, just give me 1 minute. Just before I leave, because I've got some meeting to carry on, I want to give you a very interesting data points. This data tells you that how the business of luxury cars in India is increasing. Now, Audi Q3 had a 400% growth over the last 1 year. All the cars, all these big cars like BMW X1, Mercedes Benz, GLE, Audi Q3, BMW X7, Land Rover Defender, BMW X3, Volvo X660, Volvo XC40. Volvo X60 is a 1.2 crores car. Huh? All Jaguar, F-Pace, Mercedes Benz, Discovery. Just see the kind of growth. Land Rover Defender, which cost around 95 lakhs, grown by 151% over the last 1 year. तो अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपका क्लाइंट के पास पैसा नहीं है और यू आर रिलक्टेंट टू टॉक टू हिम अबाउट 1 crore investment in AI, let me tell you, friends, your client is going to go and buy Audi Q3 and is not going to come to you. And let me also tell you, the guy who is going to sell him Audi Q3 is also doing a family office programs where he knows that उनके पास जो 1 crore का गाड़ी खरीदने आता है ना, वो उनके साथ informal relationship बैठता है. Because moment I go to buy a car, the car guy who sells the car, he becomes my friend. I don't treat him. An investor talking about buying 1 crore investment with you and the investor buying 1 crore investment in my car, ये दोनों का treatment अलग होता है, याद रख. So before I go for the other meetings, let me tell you, don't sit back and think that boss बाद में कर लेंगे. There are some other people who are selling other products and that's growing at a massive space. अगर आपको इस डेटा के बारे में पढ़ना है तो प्लीज आप इसको स्कैन करो and you can read the kind of euphoria that is moving around in this industry. So never think and say that अरे बॉस मेरा क्लाइंट तो नहीं करता है, वो आपसे नहीं करता है, वो किसी और से कर रहा है. So please remember that. Sorry, Pradeep, I just wanted to cut you because I wanted to show you some data which I think it's relevant for the investors. Thanks. Thanks, Jinesh bhai. Thank you so much. Yeah, Pradeep, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I hope I am audible to everyone. Thank you so much, Romit sir, for this Power Pack session. And as I mentioned, that here is something special and exclusive for all the participants who have joined us today. As you all know, the program will be the the complete program costing is like 50,000 plus GST. But here is a special for all of you who all have attended this program. This will be costing to each of them. There is a flat 5,000 rupees discount for now. So for all of you, it will be 45,000 plus GST. And there is another special that you all can be a part of the ongoing batch, which has just got started. And my class is happening tomorrow only on Saturday itself. You'll have access to the live class by Romit sir itself. And you can be a part of this ongoing batch by just paying 5,000 rupees for now. So, as Romit sir has mentioned, that the price is definitely going to be high. And tomorrow, definitely this will going to be as of now the price is like 50,000, and surely it will going to be the double of what price is ongoing right now.